Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Venue Diagram. I'm Clay, and this week's episode is going to be about my trip to the Home Run Derby at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. The Home Run Derby has always been one of my favorite parts of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game because it's such a showcase for some of the greatest names in the game at any given time. And before I ever saw Ken Griffey Jr. or Vlad Jr., Pete Alonso, Ronald out there playing in the Home Run Derby, I watched the original 1960 series on ESPN and ESPN Classic, and the idea that this time capsule exists from the 1960s of some of the greatest players in the history of the game competing in the Home Run Derby just ties it together to me in such a great way. So when you watch Hank Aaron out there at Wrigley Field in Los Angeles playing that home run derby and listen to that series and watch what's happening, it really takes you back. And so, despite the fact that it's not intentionally the same thing, the home run derby, the All Star game, feels like that. So that's why I love the home run derby, and that's why it was one of my real joys to be able to go to a game. Because with all of that said, I will say that it is often difficult to watch the home run derby on TV. I really don't like how they try to follow the balls or don't follow the balls or cut back and forth and all of that stuff, particularly the way it's done now. The way it was done in the 90s, which I know is kind of that nostalgic sweet spot for those people who are my age, is really how I wish it was still done because you could follow what was happening so much easier. And it really gave the aspects of the game that I want to see so much more life, to have them slower, to have them where you could watch Ken Griffey Jr.'s ball go all the way out at Camden Yards and hit the warehouse. And then you get the next pitch, rather than having like three or four balls in the air at the same time. In any case, it's gotten a little bit better in the way that they've tweaked the rules in the last few years. And I will say, I was super excited to go, hoping that it would be different, a little bit scared that it would be harder to follow what was going on when you're in the stadium. It was not. It was so much fun to be at the Home Run Derby at Truist Park and watch those balls get demolished. And unlike when you're watching it on TV and they're deciding what you can watch and where you can watch it, of course, you get to choose which ball you're following. You get to choose whether you're going to focus in on the characters and the at bats and what people are doing between the pitches, and it's just such a better experience watching it in person, and I hope that they'll be able to figure out how to replicate that for TV in the near future at least. But in any case, going to the event was one of the highlights of All-Star Game weekend. And of course, by being there, you get to see just how hard someone like O'Neal Cruz can just absolutely obliterate a baseball. And interestingly, you get some weird experiences like Jazz Chisholm, who I believe is a great player and is one of my favorite players to watch. Strangely being in the Home Run Derby to start with, even though he does have some pop, but only putting up 3 home runs, getting booed by the crowd, and all of that stuff. I didn't like. I don't like when at an event like the All-Star Game, there's people being booed. I just don't think that should be part of it. And I know that fans are fans, and Braves fans are not going to be in favor of the flashy Yankee. Just like whenever Ronald goes anywhere, people have things to say about it. I just think let's at least at the Home Run Derby put the booze away. And then, of course, there's the other thing. So being there, you get to see Brent Rooker hit a home run, hit a bunch of home runs, hit 17 home runs. And you get to see Cal Raleigh hit 17 home runs. And you get to see when they put the distances of the home runs up on the board to start with that Brent Rooker has moved on to the bracket round and Cal Raleigh has been eliminated because of the distance on one of the home runs, which they had listed all out as you were going along. And you could see that, oh, look, that one, the shortest one was X number of feet, and the longest one was Y number of feet, or whatever. And then, of course, they switched it because they wanted Cal Raleigh to be in the bracket round, which I understand. He is super popular, having a great season, went on to hit 60 home runs in the season as a catcher, which is insane. But it was weird. And they wound up saying that StatCast said that his home run was like an inch further than Rooker's, and there's just absolutely no way that that could be the case, that they could have the determinations down to such a degree as that. And so that was a weird part about being at the event. Didn't make it any less fun. And Cal, of course, went on to win the event with really great semifinals and finals rounds. But I would have liked to have seen something a little bit better, a little bit different happen in how they determined how to get those players into the semifinal round. It was amazing to see some of these players in person. It was amazing to see Oneil Cruz, who wasn't actually in the All-Star game proper, out there, because Oneil Cruz can demolish baseballs and demolished baseballs in this event. Junior Caminero, who is the one who lost in the finals to Cal Raleigh, is a superstar in the making. He's only, 21 years old, and was doing amazing things in this All-Star game, did amazing things all season, lost in the finals to Cal Raleigh, and really started to pump the crowd up and get people excited about baseball. Tampa, of course, can always pick really great prospects and really great players for the early part of their career. I would love to see someone like Junior stay in Tampa, especially if they're able to get a new stadium and all of that stuff. Don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. In any case, being there at the event, being in a seat in the outfield would have been super interesting to be able to catch some of those balls, right? But being behind the plate, being able to follow what was happening was so amazing. And that is what I have to suggest to baseball is please, please, please give us the opportunity at the Home Run Derby going forward to actually follow what is happening. We want to see the pitch, we want to see the swing, and we want to see the ball fly. We don't want to just have to watch the clock and 3 different home run balls going somewhere and not know what's happening. It's just annoying that way. It's amazing when you can really focus on the game and how great the game is and how great the game can be, even when it's broken down into individual elements like this, right? It's one of those sports where you can make an entire event that is eminently watchable out of one aspect of the game, and can be doing that for 66 years now, and it not get old. Because yes, for some people it will get old, but for baseball fans it doesn't get old, because it's so much fun to be able to watch great players be able to do this, whether they are Hank Aaron and Mickey Mantle in 1960, or whether they are Junior Caminero and Cal Raleigh in 2026, or some of the people who were not in the event this time, who could be in the event again in the future, either have been in the past, winners like Alonso and Aaron Judge, Ohtani, or people who can make an absolute show out of it, like Ronald Acuna Jr. Like, it's so fun to be able to see an event like this, to be able to go to an event like this. And so if you ever get the opportunity, I just recommend doing it. If you get the opportunity to go to the All-Star game, clearly do that. But definitely take in the Home Run Derby, which is such an essential part of that weekend and such an essential part of the experience of baseball now for such a long time, that I think it's just really, really something that lives up to the hype in so many ways. Until next time, this has been Clay Dockery for Venue Diagram. Take care out there.